Spend that money. Okay.
Well, there was lots of different times. I mean, lots of strange times where he used to fall asleep with his eyes open, you know, because I used to share a hotel room with him and we were touring the States and all that. And many a time I thought he's conked out in his bed, you know, with his eyes open, going, "Lemmy, wake up, wake up." And his eyes would be wide open. What? You know? Come on, we've got to leave, we've got to catch a plane. All right, I'll be down in a minute. And I'd go downstairs, have my breakfast, and all the band would be waiting, you know. I said, well, I've woken him up, he'd be down in a minute, you know. Well, I'll send up one of our tour managers to go and get him, you know, and then we'd be crashed out again. Of course, you know, everybody would be getting agitated because we were going to miss the flight, and he eventually got it together to come down, you know.
Oh, yeah, in Cleveland, 2 different lots of hippies spiked us with angel dust, the whole band. And we ran on stage, you know, like, what's this? Oh, I hit it and it makes the noise good, you know, like. And apparently the gigs were all right, you know. We spiked all the food and drink in the roundhouse once. Everybody was like doing the same twitch. It was really odd, 600 people going. You know, you see that, you know you made an impression. We used to lock the doors so that people couldn't get out. And we had 5 strobes on the crowd at eye level, not on us. We were in the dark, you know, and these strobes were at the low blink, which is the dangerous one. This is how clever the English are with technology. They passed a law that you couldn't have it over a certain amount of blinks, but it's the low one that fucks you up, you know. We used to give people epileptic fits, and didn't it come across with the tambourine, you know, the blonde one, you know, and go back, and the guy would go. We were very irresponsible, you know. But then you are, aren't you? You know, when you can get away with it. Yeah, it was very innocent, really. Because you see, we didn't know everybody was going to die. You know, because nobody had really died then, and there were a lot of junkies around, but they weren't really our scene. We were doing acid and smoking dope mostly, you know, and like that was it.
Well, Lemmy always had this amazing mental list of who would be awake at any given time in the day. Because when you didn't sleep for 4 or 5 days at a stretch, it was very hard to find places to go, particularly at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know. So the bell would ring, you go, that's Lem, you know, and if I wasn't actually in bed or otherwise occupied, you know, let him in, he'd come in, you know, look in the fridge, make himself a sandwich, hand me a beer out of his jacket, and away it'd go, you know.
We were in our van, and I think we got stopped by the police, and he took a load of his, I think he took some speed and downers at the same time. And he sort of was all over the place, couldn't stand up, was falling over, and, you know, we had to tie him to his bed, actually. It was one of those big wooden, old-fashioned beds. I think we tied him to the bed with some sheets, and I had to phone up a mate of his and say, look, you know, Lemmy's really, what can we do? What do you think we should do? And he said, oh, just keep him quiet, he'll get over it, you know, because his consumption of drugs at the time was quite huge, you know, so he got over that all right.
You know, he'd knock on the door at 1 o'clock in the morning saying, coming down to speak, you know, and then there'd be some outrageous scene with anyone from, you know, Keith Moon to Oliver Reed, or both of them together, and, you know, it was a very kind of, you know, weirdly egalitarian time where, you know, most things went and nobody bothered too much, and as long as, except, you know, after a bit of fame, you know, Lemmy couldn't walk out the door without, you know, being arrested, and there was a kind of hardcore of, you know, him, Phil Lynott, Wilco, Jean-Jacques from the Stranglers, and then suddenly at the ultimate end of that, suddenly, you know, there's John Rotten and Joe Strummer, and you're going, this is really, I mean, this was just, you know, 8 or 9 years when things were rolling at an alarming speed, you know, and everybody had previous experiences. He could tell tales of, you know, working with Hendrix, and of course, up until God rest his death, when he drowned in Greece, there was Howard Parker was the kind of, what do you call it, maitre d' come creative organiser at the Speak, which was the last bar open in town. And then after that, we'd find ourselves in, you know, the most alarming places, weird places in Earl's Court, which were entirely full of South African mercenaries, you know, waiting for a job in the Congo or something. And, you know, the picture of Lemmy talking to, you know, two kind of, you know, South African Thompson gunners was going, it wasn't that it was weird, it all started to kind of get normal, you know, and you're going, well, this is an interesting life, I'm glad I got this one, and, you know, it was great, fascinating times, you know, and it's reflected in the music.
I mean, there was always something wrong with him. There was always something wrong with him, breaking his hand or a bone in his foot or his leg or something, you know, or his stomach. He had a lot of trouble with his stomach. In New York, he nearly died. Did he tell you about that? Oh, fucking hell, this is great. We're playing at the old Waldorf. It's an old, just down from the Gramercy Park Hotel where we were staying. And, what is that noise? Sounds like a firework. Oh, okay. And, so when we do Overkill, if you know the song, at the end it stops and then the drums start and off he goes. Right? Well, it was hot there. I mean, it was in the summer. It must have been, well, I don't know, it was 100 degrees or something. I mean, totally, you know, New York. So we stopped and we waited for Phil to start because that's what he normally does. Of course, there's nothing. So me and Lemmy look across and we look round and he's gone. But he's collapsed off the fucking stool. He's gone completely. So they've carried him off, you know. We've had to say, well, that's it, kids, so we're all going home now. So we've gone back to the Gramercy Park. They've taken Phil up to the room. And I've gone to his room and I've said, what's going on? And the tour manager, this guy called Rabbit, he's come out and he said, man, he says, you go down to the lobby and bring the police up. You know, the paramedics and the police, they come together. In fact, the police come first, I think. So, I've gone back to my room, I've fucking tooted all me toot, fucking had a quick joint, and I've gone down to the lobby. And of course, I'm standing in the fucking lobby, the police come in, I say, oh, I'll show you where. So we're standing in the lift. Of course, I'm shaking like a fucking leaf. Oh, I'm toast, I've had too much pump, and I'm fucking just done a gig. And I'm shaking, they said, you're shaking a lot, aren't you? This is the cops, you know, and I'm fucking shitting it. You know, because you're American cops, you know, you've heard all these stories, and we hadn't met many. I said, oh man, I've just done a gig, you know, I'm a bit freaked out, you know. So then I took him up and showed him to Phil's room. They still wouldn't let me in. Well, apparently what was happening was Phil was having convulsions because he was so ill. You know, he was having these whatever fits or whatever. They thought he was going to die. The paramedics come up and all that. Yeah, they actually thought he might not make it. That's why they wouldn't let me in the room, because they didn't want, you know, me seeing it and freaking out or whatever. So yeah, he's come close a couple of times. There was a lot of drugs and drink going on, you know. Drink mainly, a lot of drinking. And because I didn't drink when I was on Motörhead, I was sort of a hippie, you know. I used to smoke dope, do coke and that sort of thing. But I never used to drink anything that was a downer I didn't like. But of course, with all this speed we were taking, of course we had no money for dope or nothing. So of course I'd be sitting up for 3 days like a shaking wreck. And that's when I discovered that a special brew would take the edge off. In fact, there was a funny story. One of the early rehearsals, I think the second rehearsal we were having, in this little room, much smaller than this, it was about 10 by 8 maybe, this room. It was full of carpets. It was in the heat wave of 76. So it was toast down there, you know. And a couple of Hells Angels came out to see us, Tramp and someone else. And they came in. I didn't know any Hells Angels at that time. They came in and had a chat, you know, nice guys, and they said, well, we're off to the off-licence now, you know. So Phil said, I'll have a special brew, and Lemmy said, I'll have a special brew, and I said, I'll have a Coke. Which went down like a cup of cold sick, you know. I'm thinking, oh, fuck it, what did I say that for?